People always ask how I balance my family life with 400 shows a year. I'm just doing what I love with the people I love. It's my magic life.
I like Wes Iseli. I like everything about him.
All right, it is another podcast with hospital stay in it. We are still at the hospital. It is day 11, but I have Natalie awake and alert right now. We might have to do this in chunks, but do you think you'll make it?
I'm going to do my best. I don't last very long.
We just did a whole page of notes about what we want to talk about during this podcast and try to catch you guys up. But as of right this second, we're on day 11. And, man, it's been a roller coaster. It's been so crazy. So we left you off in the last episode that we were expecting Natalie to get a dye treatment on Wednesday morning when the podcast came out. But instead of doing that,
yeah, the GI doctor came in and he was like, well, we know there's a leak somewhere, so it would be a waste to do the dye treatment. We'll just go ahead and go in and do the endoscopy because we know we're going to put a stent in. We just have to find the leak and put the stent in. So that's what they did. So they took me down. They took me down to have that done, and that was, that's 3 times I'm going under in 4 days. And so when the anesthesiologist came up to explain everything to me, he was like, do you have any questions? I was like, yes, I do. I said, this is the 3rd time I'm going down in 4 days. Is something bad going to happen? Am I at risk of anything? I just didn't know what it was going to do to me. And he said, nope, there are no studies that show that going under multiple times a day, or not a day, multiple times in a row are going to mess anything up, mentally or physically or anything like that. So, yay. And I went and...
You told me you asked if you're going to have early Alzheimer's or if I'm going to remember my kids.
Okay. Well, he said I was all right for that and everything was going to be fine. And I said, okay, well, I got to trust him. I got to get this done. So they went in and they found the leak and they put the stent in. And on top of finding the leak and putting the stent in, they also found a stone that they took out as well. So, and while all this was happening, Wes was doing 2 shows that day. He couldn't be with me because he was out performing.
I had 2 library shows, and something was going on this week. Every show I went to, I had a struggle all week long. Every single show I went to, there was something going on. So the first show, I showed up to it, and where we usually do this library show, there's like 200, 300 people at this place. They do it in a gymnasium, and we always park in the back next to the cafeteria and the trash cans and all of that. But they had construction going on. So I couldn't get my RV and trailer back there, so I had to circle the building a couple times and then call the lady. And then I was rushed to start the show on time. Mm-hmm. And then I left that show, went straight to the next show, and got to the next show, pulled up in front of the school where I always do, because that's also in another gymnasium, another big group of people for that library show. Mm-hmm. And some security officer runs up to me and says, you can't park that here. I said, well, I'm doing a show right here in this room. I always park here. You got 3 minutes to move this off property. We're just missing school right now. So I guess they had summer school going on or something.
Apparently.
Then I had to park it like 2 football fields away and just start loading in from there. And it was brutal because it was straight uphill. Wasn't fun.
Yeah.
But Natalie said, and I knew during the second show that you were having that endoscopy done.
Okay.
And your mom called me and said she's getting knocked out right now and having her surgery.
Okay.
And I was a mess.
I'm sorry.
But when I started the show, it's just like,
it turns off.
Yeah. The outside world turns off when the show starts.
That's a good thing.
But as soon as it's over, at the end of the show, I'm taking autographs of people, and I'm taking pictures of people and everything, and signing autographs.
Yeah.
And I have a Fitbit on my ankle because I get broken out with the metal, and I don't want it on my arm and everything. And my ankle is just buzzing at the end of the show. And it was all these phone numbers from California and New York. And I'm like, oh, no, is that the doctor's numbers? Is the anesthesiologist calling me for some reason? I was freaking out. And then as soon as I said goodbye to the last person, I picked up the phone. And I couldn't listen to the messages, but I could see it's transcribed on my voicemail. And I could read who it was. It was my publicist's mom was checking in on me. And like a call for a show.
Okay.
The guy that's booking us for an illusion show, he's got a New York phone number.
Okay.
It was just things like that. But the phone was ringing, just bzz, bzz, bzz. My ankle was buzzing. And I'm like, oh, no. Yeah.
Fine things.
After the second show, I brought Lana here to tag out with Natalie. And Lana got to visit. And once your mom left, you said you felt better, but then that night
I got into a lot of pain, and
they were just saying it was gas pain from the endoscopy.
Yeah, they were saying I probably had some gas just from surgery. And yeah, the endoscopy, they knocked me out. It wasn't surgery, it was endoscopy. But they still knocked me out. So having that all happen. Anyway, and I was kind of supporting them. Sorry, this might be too much information, but whatever. I was burping and I was farting. So I was kind of supporting their gas theory. And so the nurse was like, it was bad. It hurt horribly. It was painful. And I was like, but it doesn't feel like, when you have gas, it kind of bubbles around inside of you and moves around. And this wasn't happening. I was like, it's not really moving. And she's like, all right, well, let's lay on your left side and hopefully that'll help, because that'll help move things along. It'll stretch out that part of you, and the gas will be able to be freed up. So I did that, and I kind of went through, poor Wes, he wasn't getting any sleep. I felt awful. But I kind of went through periods where I dozed off, and then I'd wake up because I was in pain. And then it would ease up enough that I could sleep. But then it got to a point where I couldn't sleep. And I was like, I'm in pain. It hurts. This isn't gas, Wes. This hurts so bad.
And I'm saying, honey, people go to the hospital and think they're having heart attacks for gas. Gas can be this painful. Because when they did an endoscopy, they had to pump her full of nitrogen gas or something.
Yeah, just to kind of open things up and place the stent and everything. So, but I was like, this doesn't feel like gas. This does not feel like gas. It hurts. I was like, oh no, I'm going to puke. And, so they had given me Zofran earlier, which makes it so that you don't puke. It's for nausea, and it helps you to not puke. Because I had that earlier, and they were like, just the anxiety from the pain is probably what's making her feel like she's going to puke. So we'll give this to her. So I had Zofran in me, and I was like, no, I'm going to puke. And I started puking. And if you have ever had stomach surgery and then you puke, it is not a good feeling for your muscles to contract like that when they have big old holes in them. So that was horrible. And we had the lights dimmed real good in our room to be able to sleep. And so when I I didn't have much in me. I was mostly dry heaving, but I did get up a few like globs. And I looked at Wes. I was like, oh my gosh, am I puking up blood clots? What is going on?
It looked like my mom used to buy chicken livers to scare the kids at Halloween for reaching the. It looked like you were puking up bits of organs. It
wasn't
awful.
pretty, yeah, and it was downright. It was scary.
The trash bag that she puked into was transparent. You could see through it, and it looked like she was puking up pure chicken livers.
Yeah, and I was scared, and I just looked at Wes and I said, I don't want more surgery. I don't want more surgery. Because I don't want more surgery.
So that was that night. She's getting teary-eyed. And when you hear that high-pitched beep, she's allowed to take more Dilaudid every 6 minutes. So she's pumping it because she's talking here. But anytime she's awake, she's pushing that button. So you'll hear that high-pitched beep. Yeah. And that's her pulling that trigger. No, because you're in pain right this second. I'm letting the audience know. Yeah. Even though you're talking and you sound good, you're in pain still.
So anyway, the nurse looked at it and she said, no, that is a green bean.
She poured the puke out in the sink and washed it off to explore
amazing
what she threw up.
Yeah, and she's like, that's a green bean. Like, that is an undigested green bean. I was like, oh my gosh. So then after I puked, I felt better.
But you hadn't eaten for how long?
I hadn't eaten for 2 days. So what they were thinking was, I probably puked up the green bean because you get put under with you get knocked out that many times, your bowel system and your intestines slow down. And so mine had slowed down immensely. And they're like, so it's just not working. So then things start to kind of float, and this probably just floated back up and got pushed out. And then, yeah, you puked it out. So that's what that was. And then I was like, okay, well, I feel better now that I puked. So that's good. So I felt better Thursday morning, but I also felt bad because poor Wes didn't get a good night's sleep yet again, and he had to go to Massanutten that day. Sorry.
So Massanutten, I'm grabbing Lana and I'm going to Massanutten. And since Massanutten's on a mountain, we had put a new illusion in the back of our RV, our trailer. And when I drop the trailer, this illusion comes rolling at me, and it's probably 300 pounds. And I'm fighting it and struggling with it. But I could scream at the top of my lungs. Lana's in the RV, hanging out in her bunk bed, watching Nickelodeon shows and playing on her iPad. So I'm out there. The struggle is real. I'm trying not to get run over. But the show was great. Everything was great. Fighting gravity and fighting that illusion was the hardest thing, loading in, loading out the show. But the show was fantastic. I had a great time.
You had a great audience, it sounded like. It sounded like they were real receptive and had a really good time.
Dude, I turned it off and I rocked it. It was one of those shows that's like, I was in such a groove and it was so good of feeling.
Yeah.
It was magical, and that sounds corny, but it was awesome.
That's good.
Like, I wished I was videotaping that show. Yeah.
Yeah.
And on the way home, and I loaded out that show and loaded in the show and got back in the car and started heading home. And I told everybody that I'd be at the hospital about 7 o'clock that night. And at 6, I'm pulling into my driveway, and Natalie's mom called and said, "Where are you?" I said, "I'm at home. I'll be there in a minute." And she said, "Well, you need to hurry up and get here because Natalie's not doing good."
She called on my behalf because I wasn't feeling good. I was in pain again, and I knew you were on your way. But I was like, can you just call him and ask him where he is? Because I needed a time frame of when you were going to get to the hospital, because that was going to get me through. So it was something for me to look forward to, even though I was in pain.
And I just dropped the trailer, dropped the RV, changed clothes, I threw the animals in my office, and asked Willow to put them away for me. And I got in the car and took off. I didn't even get dinner that night. I mean, I went to the hospital and just ran. I was going to stop and try to get something healthy at fast food, a salad, and chicken breast or something, but didn't have time. I just flew straight here. The cafeteria was closed, so I just ate snacks all night long. I was starving. But I had to hold her hand and get her through this because when I got here, she was on her side and she was moaning hard.
And we had told Lana, because I had felt better that morning, that, Lana, you can come back to the hospital with Daddy, Wes, and then you can go back home with my mom, with her granny, and just visit with me for a few minutes. So I was laying on my left side again because they were like, it's probably gas again. And I was like, I don't think it is, but whatever, I'll lay on my left side. And so she came in and I tried my hardest. I smiled at her. I don't know if it was a good smile or not, but I didn't want her to freak out. I did my best not to freak her out. But the minute she left, I was like, okay, I'm in pain. And it was, it was bad. So that day they were letting me eat because they had found the problem. They put a stent in, they got the stone out. They're not going to have to do any more surgery. You can eat. And, but they put me on clear liquids. So the only thing I was eating was broth and I was drinking water because I could have had juice or something, but I was too scared. So I had beef broth for lunch, and I think I might have eaten maybe a third of the bowl, and I gave up because my stomach started to not feel real good. And then by the time dinner came, it had calmed down a little, and I was like, I need food. I need nutrition. I need this for energy to get better. I'm going to try and eat, even though I don't really feel like it. And I think I might have had 3 spoonfuls, and I put it down, and I looked at my mom, and I was like, I can't do it. It hurts. And she was like, that's okay. You heard the nurse say that they have, like, bouillon in the nutrition kitchen on the floor. We can get you some of that later. Maybe you'll feel like it later. And I was like, okay, I think that's what I'm going to do. And so I laid on my left side and I did not move. I did not want to move because it hurt to move. It hurt awful to move. And so I ended up starting to hurt so bad that they gave me Dilaudid. And I was like, if y'all think this is gas, you're going to give me Dilaudid for gas? Is that going to help? And they were like, yeah, it's pain. It'll take away the pain. It's like, okay. So, yeah, it was awful. And so finally it got so bad that we called the nurse in again, and she was like, you've been in the same position. Maybe, because this doesn't sound like gas. Finally, this nurse listened to me. I was like, it doesn't feel like gas. And her name is Laura, listens to me, and she was like, let's get you in a different position because I don't think it's gas. You may find a position to sit in or lay in or be in, just that feels better. And so I moved and I got into a different position, and I was still in a lot of pain. It was awful. It was horrible. So.
Is that when you tried the bouillon for another time, when you were sitting straight up in bed?
No.
What caused the spasms?
I had quit taking that. They gave me... So Laura was trying to talk to people, and she agreed that it probably wasn't gas. But whoever was above her, and this was not my doctor, but whoever was on for that night said, maybe, it's poop issues. Maybe she's constipated. Give her some Miralax.
That's right. They had you sipped that out of that straw.
Yeah.
And then she started having severe spasms. And the way I explained that to friends and family was it looked like a ghost was stabbing her in the belly. She would just pulsate up out of the bed, but it started at her belly, and then her whole head would come up, and like severe hiccups, but starting at her belly, and her whole body would jerk.
It was the worst pain I have ever had in my entire life.
And that's from 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock, just constantly. This ghost is stabbing her. These spasms are happening, full body convulsions.
Yeah.
They gave her anti-spasm medication to stop her from doing that, but still, she was dealing with the crazy pain for hours.
Yeah.
At 1 a.m., she mustered up enough energy to say, I said, honey, you can do this. You gave birth to all 3 kids with no medication. Mm-hmm. I'm rubbing her head. I'm holding her hand. I'm setting my knees on the floor next to her. That was her taking Dilaudid just now. And you gave birth to all 3 kids. You're tough. You can do this. And she was so tired and so moaning and everything. She mustered up the strength to say, yeah, but in childbirth, it gives you breaks.
Yeah.
This isn't giving me any breaks.
There was no breaks. It was constant pain. It just went from, excruciating pain to extremely excruciating pain to excruciating pain to extremely excruciating pain. And there was I just know there was a time where Wes wanted to go get somebody, and I said, please don't leave me. Hold my hand. Please don't leave me. I didn't want him to leave me. I didn't know what was going on. It was scaring the crap out of me.
And since she was on Dilaudid and she was sitting straight up in the bed, if she would get a break where she wasn't moaning or anything, and she'd take a micro nap, 15, 30 seconds, she would fall asleep, and she'd wake up and scream in pain. And when she would do that, her mouth would gape open. And that's what we were
sleeping. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what we were dealing with. And then she, would wake up and scream and moan
And all this time, our nurse is running around. She is trying. I know she made so many phone calls to get somebody to listen to her, because she was like, this is not gas. This is something, and we need to figure out what is wrong.
And it's 1 a.m, and all the upper-ups are asleep. And they
don't
said
want to
that
deal with me, and so they're just not listening. And they're like, give her the Miralax. The Miralax put her in even more pain. And I could tell, even in my fog of pain, I could tell that she was frustrated over there. But at the same time, I was in my head yelling at her, do something. But she listened to me. So
she said she may have made some enemies on the floor, but she didn't care. She was trying to take care of Natalie.
Yeah.
And it's oh, God bless you. Thank you.
Yeah.
But at some point, Natalie looked at me, and she was in so much pain, and the pain was just going on and on and on and on. And she looked at me and she said, am I going to die? Now, the night before, she was saying, am I going to have more surgery? Now she's saying, am I going to die? And before...
I had never felt this kind of pain before. With that kind of pain, something is extremely wrong, and nobody's helping us figure it out. And what do I do? Am I dying?
And before I could even say no, her jaw dropped wide open without any gravity, without any hesitation, without any muscle control. It just gaped open, and her eyes were open, and they rolled back in her head. And it was just, a split second, maybe 5 seconds is all that was. I grabbed her chin, Natalie, and I'm calling her name, and I lift her chin up, and I snap her back into it, and I'm hitting that call button and telling the nurses. Her eyes roll back in her head, somebody get in here, quick, 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 quick. And that was the scariest damn thing I've ever had in my life. It was awful. I know I have PTSD from that. Every time I would tell my friends that story, or anybody asking how she was doing, I would start the sentence with, I thought I lost her last night. and I would tear up and I would cry.
Yeah, you're probably gonna need therapy after this week. I'm sorry. I know it's nothing I can control, but I feel so bad. I've put so many people through so much.
Well, Laura, like she said, Laura took charge. Laura got results.
Yeah.
Natalie said, if any of my listeners know how to nominate her for the Daisy Award, it's some fancy nursing award.
Of all people, she deserves it. If you know how to do that, please let me know. I can barely stay awake. I mean, for 5 minutes. The fact that I've stayed awake this long is a miracle. So I can't research it right now. But if I don't hear from any of y'all, I will research it, because I am going to get that girl nominated for a Daisy Award, and hopefully she wins it, because if anybody deserves it, she did. She does, because she didn't quit. She stood up for me. She finally got in touch with my doctor, and
At 2 a.m.
yeah, and he was amazing because he listened to her. He didn't just poo-poo her, because she has to go through the protocol of who to call first. And finally she said, forget it, I'm calling him directly. And I guess she's not supposed to do that, but she did it anyway. And he listened. Thank you, Jesus. He listened. And so he allowed her to give me Dilaudid and to give it to me more frequently to stop the pain. And he took blood work, and he did way more extensive blood work to try and figure out what was going on. So they drugged me up good, and I actually dozed in and out, which thank God, that the pain had settled even just a little bit. It wasn't much, but it settled a little bit. And Laura came in our room. I don't even know what time it was. Do you?
No, I don't know where you're going with this.
To tell us what was wrong.
The blood work came back? The results?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
It was a couple hours after your blood work was taken.
Yeah, she came back and she said, I've got good news, but it's bad news. And I was like, what? She said, I've got good news, but it's bad news. Good news is that we know it's wrong. Bad news is it's pancreatitis. And she said, so it trumps everything. Everything stops. We're not trying to get you to poop anymore. You're not eating anything. You no longer get to eat a thing, because that's exasperating it. Setting you up with a pump so you can pump your own medicine. So I have a nice fancy schmancy button here that Wes was telling you about, where I get to hit it every 6 minutes as needed for pain. And it'll give me a dose of Dilaudid for the pain in my belly, for my pancreas, I suppose. And so they got that all set up, but she said the reason they know that is it's like the lipids or lipase, or I don't know, whatever the enzymes are. The normal range is 7 to 60. Mine was just about at 6,000. So they were like,
no wonder you're in pain.
yeah, you have pancreatitis. So we're going to get you a pain button. So they got that machine all set up, and they said that's all they can do. All you can do, there's no pill to heal pancreatitis. There's no medication to heal it. There's nothing I can do except rest, which means I can't eat or drink anything. I've been allowed an ice chip here and there. And then,
but no more than 2 ice chips an hour.
Now, at first it was no ice chips. It was just I had those little sponge things to wet my mouth when it got cottony. Then I got moved up to, 1 ice chip. Now I can do 2 an hour. And then they said, so you just rest it, which means no eating, no drinking, and pain management, which is why they gave me this machine. And they're like, we give you control over the medicine, because that way I don't have to I was having to wait for every 4 hours.
I don't remember.
It was
2 to
either
4.
2 hours or 4 hours for the next dose of medication. And so,
And if the nurses were with another patient, you would get it late, and then
right,
you have to.
and then I was chasing the pain.
Yeah.
And so they gave me this so that I can pump it myself, and that's been helping.
But that was at 4 a.m. They hooked you up to that, and
Yeah,
I
they
finally
did.
laid on the couch to try to get some sleep. There it was, right there. She just hit it now.
I've been talking so much.
But I lay on the couch beside her, and they're plugging her up, and they're like, "We got her now, Wes. You can lay your head down." And as soon as
I kept him up all night long, and he had shows the next day.
as soon as I laid my head down, I was out, and I was out hard.
Yeah.
And the next thing I remember is this loud bang. And I'm tucked in with the covers, and I have a pillow on my head, one under my head, and I'm like levitating across the room. As soon as I hear that bang, I'm up, and I see shadows, and I see both nurses bending
Bent
over
over
to pick something up, and I thought it was Natalie. I thought they were trying to move her to the bathroom, and they dropped her. And I yell out a curse word or something. I'm standing on top of covers, trying to run with covers wrapped around my legs. And I totally missed Natalie laying in the bed because I'm looking over at what fell and where the noise was. And I said, "Natalie, no." And they had dropped the machine that gives her the drug medication. They say it's really high. It takes heavy. And it takes 2 nurses to plug it in, and they dropped it.
And she was like, "I am so sorry. I am so sorry. It's all okay. She's fine. She's on the bed."
I thought I lost her just an hour earlier. I thought she was dead.
They were so apologetic. They felt horrific.
So I was on edge with Natalie, and this PTSD, it kicked in. I can't explain how much on edge I was.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was our Thursday night.
Yeah, it was a very eventful night that I never, ever, 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 ever want to repeat. And I gotta tell you, I am so glad that I only have one gallbladder. So.
Friday, I spent the night. No, we're on Friday now.
Yeah, so Friday morning you had to get up.
Friday morning, I had to get up and leave super early because I had to go to Maryland to go to Hyatt Regency Resort in Cambridge, taking Lana with me. The in-laws are now here, both of them. The father-in-law is the cancer doctor for kids, and now he's got the weekend off, and he's here also taking shifts with his wife.
Yeah, he switched his days off around for me because he had Saturday through Tuesday off, so he had an extra day for Independence Day off, and he said, "No, I'm going to switch my day off to Friday so I can come help out," which was very, very sweet of him.
And I told them I can't switch out at the house. I need you guys to switch out at the hospital because every time we leave Natalie, both doctors come in and start talking to her, but she's on this machine and they're giving her this crazy description about what's going on, what to expect, where to go, what to do. And by the time she falls asleep and wakes up, did I dream that or did the doctors come in here? And we're missing it.
At the time, I'm looking at them. I'm like, okay, I'm concentrating really hard. I'm going to remember this. I got this. It makes sense. Do you have any questions? No, I don't have any questions. I got it. Seriously, like 10 minutes later, Wes calls him like, the doctor showed up. He said, cool. What did he say? I have no idea. I don't know.
Yeah, we had to, we spent like an hour and a half going over notes for this podcast because both of our brains are so foggy. I'm averaging like 3 to 4 hours sleep a night still. Natalie is still 11 days into this. Her pain is between 9 and
9. Yeah, it'll hit 9, sometimes 10, and they're like, just keep hitting the button. And I'm like, well, the problem when it gets that high, it's when I actually get a good stretch of sleep. And I can't hit the button when I'm sleeping. So then I wake up in pain, and I'm having to chase the pain with the button every 6 minutes. But it'll go down. It'll go down pretty low. I've had some good bits of time where it's 0.5, 1, level of pain. So that's been good.
But so Friday she was just managing the pain all day long, but she was still in pain.
Yeah.
I did close-up magic at Hyatt, and I did good. It's a 6-hour drive. I got up there with Lana. Everything was good. We went to Walmart before I got to the resort because it's across the street from the turn-in to the resort. And I just spoiled her and got her a ton of junk food because she did not want to be with me. She wanted to be with Mom, but she can't be with Mom. She'd have been at home with Willow. So I bought her donuts. I bought her Lunchables. I bought her candy. I bought her anything. I think I spent like $30 in junk food on her.
Did you end up giving her any sort of toy?
No.
No, I was just curious.
No.
She was showing me all the junk food, and I was like, is there a toy in there? And she just kind of smirked at me. So I didn't know if that was a yes or a no. I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if there was, because I knew you were going to spoil her, take it on a trip to Maryland on her own, you know.
Well, no, I didn't get her any toys, but I got her a ton of food.
Yeah.
And I told her, I said, I have to do close-up magic, but what I need you to do when I get back to the room, I'm going to go to bed early. I'm going to go to bed 9, 10 o'clock, whenever I can. I haven't slept but 3 hours a night, every night, since Mom went into the hospital. So this will be my first night not sleeping in a chair, not sleeping on a couch.
Yeah.
I laid my head down, and I was gone. And I told her, I said, you got Nickelodeon, you got candy, you got junk food, you got sodas, you're good to go. Just don't leave the hotel room, which she knows. I mean, I was just being over the top. But I'm like, don't invite strangers to party, but you get to party by yourself. And she thought that was funny. And I said, have fun. And I woke up at...
I'm out of medicine.
Oh, no. Should we pause this?
Yeah.
Hold on.
I'm sorry.
All right, well, sorry about that. Natalie ran out of Dilaudid. So we took a 10-minute break. We have another 15 minutes to wait on pharmacy to bring her more medicine. And when they get in here, I guess we'll take another break. But, so Lana, I told Lana to party. Party, Lana. Hang out, have fun. I laid my head on that pillow, and I was out. I slept hard till like 3 in the morning. I think it was like 10 or 11 when I went to sleep. I woke up at 3 in the morning and realized I hadn't taken my contacts out or brushed my teeth. And I look over, and Lana's playing on her iPad, eating cookies. And I'm like, all right, party's over. Time to go to bed. But anyway.
Well, she did tell me. She said the next day, she said, Daddy gave me that freedom, but I went ahead and I went to bed at 12:30 because I did not want to be cranky. She didn't tell me she got up at 3 a.m. though to play again. But what did she say to you when you woke up?
Dad, I went to sleep, but I got up and I couldn't sleep, so I got up and pushed play again.
It's funny. She did all the things to make her not sleep, eat sugar and turn on a screen.
Right. But that's all right. That's all right.
Yeah, it's okay.
Mommy's in the hospital. She was going through some stuff, too.
She was getting spoiled. It is what it is.
Well, and the other thing is, my phone was ringing off the hook, people asking, checking on Natalie. And I kept telling the story over and over. I thought I lost her. And I'm crying. And she's hearing that over and over. So she was going through her own stuff, too.
Yeah. That's got to be hard to hear, 10-year-old girl, your mommy's everything. And so, God, I put her through the ringer too, and I just...
Well, stop. You didn't do anything. All right, so Saturday, I'm at the hotel, and my phone is just dinging off the hook with Facebook messages and text messages. But I had my alarm clock set, but I was so tired and couldn't keep my eyes open that I didn't turn off my do not disturb thing. So I'm telling myself every time I hear the phone ding with a message, well, it can't be the hospital, because if it's the hospital, they'll call me. So they're not going to send me a text message that Natalie's worse off or had to go to the ER or surgery or whatever. They'll call me. Well, at 7 in the morning, Natalie's mom butt dials me. And I jump out the bed, and I'm pulling covers across the room, run into my phone again, tripping over covers. And I pick up the phone, and there's no one there. So I called Natalie's mom back, and I'm like, hey, you just called me? What's up? What's going on? Oh, nothing, honey. I just butt dialed you. Well, I am wide awake. My adrenaline's going boom, 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 boom. I'm done. I can't sleep.
Aww.
So I go on the balcony because I didn't want to wake Lana up, and I called Natalie and started talking to Natalie. And we had a good talk. You were alert.
Yeah.
You were good. You were in pain, but you were managing it.
I was awake. Yeah. I was awake at that point, and Daddy had spent the night with me that night. And I said I slept real good except for one point when the freight train was going through my room. My dad fell asleep on, there's a recliner chair, and he fell asleep on the recliner chair. In the middle of the night, I would do the noise, but it would hurt too bad. But it was the loudest snoring I have ever heard in my life. And, I kind of only halfway woke up on the first one. And then I woke up the next one, and I was like, I'm so drugged. I'm going to be able to sleep through it. And then he did it again. I was like, nope. So I called out. So I said, Daddy. He said, yeah, what's wrong? I said, nothing. Don't you think you'd be a little more comfortable on the couch? And he said, I was snoring, wasn't I? I said, yeah. So he was real nice about it. And he got up and moved to the couch, and he didn't snore anymore, so we were good.
All right, Natalie's grabbing her belly. She doesn't have a dilated machine. She's in pain here. I'll try to take over for a little while. My resort that I was, you were going to hit your trigger. You don't have it. You were grabbing it and getting ready to hit it. Yeah. The resort I was working is Massanutten Resort, and no, I'm at Hyatt Regency Resort in Cambridge. And it's July 4th weekend, and the place is packed. With my RV and trailer, I am parked at the back of the parking lot. And I couldn't get close to the loading dock. I couldn't get close to the front of the resort to load in. I had to load in from the back of the parking lot. Natalie says it's 3 football fields. I think it's more like 5.
Oh, okay. I'll take your word for it. It's a long walk. And that's just to get to the door of the hotel. That's not getting to your room that has the show.
So I had to take it trip by trip. And it was July 4th weekend. It's burning up hot. I'm in show clothes. I just got ready in the room that day. And I'm in show clothes and I'm loading. But I'm trying not to get soaking wet carrying everything because I'm in show clothes. Right. And one of the guys at the resort came to check on me, and he was like one of the maintenance guys or event guys or whatever. And he's like, hey, man, how you doing? Everything good? I haven't seen you in a while. Yeah, I'm doing good. Things are weird, though. My wife's in the hospital. Dude, I thought I lost her last night because I'm freaking out. I'm telling everybody. And he and another guy from the event planning or maintenance or whatever they are, I mean, they were just pulled up a chair and just listened to my story of me talking about Natalie. And they're like,
probably helpful to get it out,
Well, but they felt so bad for me. They were like, what can we do? I'm like, no, I got it. And they were like, no, we got golf carts. We'll help you load this stuff in. So I was able to throw the odds and ends stuff on the back of the golf cart and save me a trip.
That's awesome.
Let's see, where are we at in the notes here?
The last point. But you had a good show, yeah?
The show was fantastic. I even did magic classes afterwards, and it went great. And then I told Natalie, I said, I'm going to do the show, I'm going to do the classes, I'm going to pack it all up, carry it all out to the RV, and then I'm going to call you. Mm-hmm. As soon as the classes were over, I had to call Natalie. I'm freaking out. I'm worried. So I called Natalie, checked on her, and then I said, all right, now I'm going to go start taking trips. And it took me a lot longer to pack up because I'm not used to packing up the big show. I'm not used to doing all that. And then I told Lana, my walk was so long and I needed her to watch the equipment. Her iPad, she was on Wi-Fi so she could make a phone call. If you need me, call me. My phone's in my pocket. Call me. And I come back and she said, psst, I called Mommy. Mm-hmm. I talked to Mommy while you were loading out.
Yeah.
Because I'm gone for like 45 minutes at least. taking it all the way out there and putting stuff away.
And here was the sweet thing. She texted my mom first and said, "Is it okay if I call mommy? Is she awake?" And I mean, she was being real sweet about it to check and make sure it was an okay time and everything. And my mom looked up. She said, "Lana's texting me asking if she can FaceTime you." I said, "Yes, she can FaceTime me." So I was alert at that point. By the end of our conversation, I was kind of done. I was ready to go to sleep. But we had a nice 10-15 minute conversation over FaceTime. It was sweet.
So what does it say? I slept at home that night.
Yeah, you guys didn't get back until 1 a.m.
So it's a 6-hour drive from the Hyatt up in Maryland. And by the time I got home, it was 1 a.m. I could barely keep my eyes open. And something had happened that night. I don't know what it was. It was just that I remember telling people that, you know, I think this is a learning experience for Lana, because at the resort, they usually give us a room with 2 queen-size beds and a cot or a pull-out sofa. And Lana always gets the cot or the pull-out sofa. Mm-hmm. And she's trying to fight Willow. I want the sofa. You get the cot, I get the sofa. You get the queen bed, whatever. And she's like, I don't even care. I'll sleep in a closet. I'll sleep on the floor. I just wish mommy was here. I don't even care about that anymore. I'm like, well, there you go. She's learning priorities, and she's learning about...
So damn sweet.
Say it again?
That is so damn sweet.
Yeah, she was like, I'll sleep in the closet. I'll sleep on the floor. I just wish mommy was here.
Aww.
And I'm driving home in the RV, and I'm just sitting there thinking about my weekend. When Natalie and I got married, well, heck, I mean, since I was 26 years old, 25 years old, getting haircuts at different places, the hairdressers are like, man, you're thinning out back there. And I'm like, yeah, thanks. That's rude. I don't know why you're saying that. Mm-hmm. And then when I got married, my uncle told me, he said it looked like I had a reverse yarmulke. I was getting a bald patch back there.
Aww.
So one of my...
That's not what you want to hear on your wedding day.
One of my hairdressers said, oh, there's a thing you can do. You can get little fibers. You can get keratin fibers and sprinkle it on your head, and it makes it look like you have hair. It sticks to your hair that you do have and thickens your hair. Mm-hmm. I've been doing that since 2014. Before I worked on Carbonaro Effect, I was doing that. But it was getting worse and worse. And Natalie always powdered my head for me. It's hard to use the mirror and do all that.
It's hard to see the back of your own head.
Well, and I don't have Natalie, so I'm trying to powder my own head. I'm trying to get Lana ready. I'm trying to do all this. I'm trying to make it look like I have hair. And apparently I did okay because I fooled some of my best friends.
Yeah.
And
I told you it looked fine, you know. But I knew you were getting frustrated with it because, you know, if you hit your head on something or if it rained.
God forbid if it rained.
Yeah.
Because I would have bald spots in the fiber stuff of skin showing through.
And you always felt bad because you're like, it's raining. I'm supposed to be a gentleman and be the one that lugs everything through the rain, but you're going to have to do it. Bye. Because your hair.
All my hair would fall off, I tell her. And we get up at, like today, I have to get up at 4 a.m. to go home by 5, to leave the house by 7, to go to Northern Virginia to do a show at 10 a.m. And days like that, after the show's over, I want to just find a parking lot and take a nap before I drive home. But I have to sleep on my belly and hand on my forehead because I can't lay down in the bed. I'll get fibers all over the bed. And I just hit a breaking point. And I'm like, I'm done. I'm powdering my own head. I'm trying to wash my hair off. I'm trying to do it secretly in the hotel bathroom so the guests don't see me doing this. It's embarrassing. I went home that night. It was 1 a.m. And I just took a razor to my head and I just shaved my entire head. I am as bald as what's the dude's name? Mr. Clean.
Yeah.
I didn't even take it down to little fibers. I took it down to skin.
Completely bald. And you didn't even ask me. But we had talked about it before. I said, just try it. Your hair will grow back if you don't like it. But I tell you what, I like it. I like it a lot.
Well, Lana didn't.
Yeah, well, that's Lana. Lana has a hard time with change sometimes. I think she's going to come around. I think it'll be all right.
So
The boys haven't had an issue. It's not like they ran up screaming from you. They're totally fine with it.
But so I slept at home that night, and then Sunday morning I had another resort in Fredericksburg called Wilderness Resort, and I had to get up early, and we had to go do that show. And I grabbed Lana, and I have a baseball hat on. I have my Magic Man logo hat on, and my show clothes. And no one noticed. And Lana's upstairs running errands. And I get Natalie's dad and Willow in the kitchen. And I'm like, guys, I got a surprise for you. I did something crazy last night. I'm like, what are you talking about? And I took my hat off, and Willow went, bah! And she's laughing her butt off. And I put the hat on, and her dad was like, yeah, I could tell something was different with your hair this morning. He could see that it was completely shaved in the back. I had the hat on backwards. And I said, Willow, what are you laughing at? And I took the hat off again. Every time I'd take it off and put it on, it was like I was playing with my 1-year-olds. Every time I would tickle them, they would giggle and belly laugh. She was doing that every time I'd reveal my baldness.
That's funny.
And I get to the show at Wilderness Resort.
It's not the reaction you want when you're showing people.
No, but I mean, it's Willow, so
Yeah.
I was playing around, joking around with her too. And I get to Wilderness Resort, which is like an hour and a half away from my house. And I call the lady, and she says, all right, yeah. I said, well, it's supposed to be at this building. And they're like, no, that building's under construction. Well, that's what it says in my contract. I'm sorry. Oh, no, you're in the gymnasium today. Okay. And she said, but your show's not until 5. Well, no, my show's at 1:30. Oh, let me call my boss. And I'm like, oh, no. So I called Natalie and tell her, I said, they think it's at 5, but we changed it to 1:30. Y'all changed the contract months ago. And they hired a new boss with COVID. And the new boss said something, but the old boss didn't have it. One boss at the resort put out a email blast telling everybody it's at 1 o'clock. But the flyer that they give out to every guest that's there at the resort had a paper flyer that said the show was at 5 p.m. So we might have 5 people or 50 people show up at 1 o'clock, but we're gonna have a packed house at 5 o'clock. What do I do? And I called Natalie. Natalie's crying because she hasn't seen me in 3 days.
I haven't seen you in 3 days, and we have made plans to bring Lana and the boys to visit. I hadn't seen the boys since I came to the hospital, and I have been looking forward to it. And that day, everything had just it's like it hit me how long I'd been in the hospital, how slowly I'm healing, how long it's been since I've seen my babies. And then on top of that, you had been gone for 3 days, which I knew you needed to be, but I didn't mean I enjoyed it. And it's like everything hit me, and then you have to move the show back. Well, now I don't get to see my babies tonight. And I boo-hooed. That was the straw that broke the camel's back emotionally. And so I just let it all out, and I boo-hooed.
And I'm telling the people that hired me, I'm like, oh, no, because Natalie, I almost lost her the other night. And then I tell them that whole story. And they're, oh, no, well, you don't have to be here if you want to just cancel the show. If I cancel the show, I'm not getting paid. And I don't want you guys upset, and I don't want this, and I don't want that. And no, we have to do the show. We'll do the show. Oh, are you sure? We can do it now. If we do it now, we're going to have 4 people show up. And plus, now it's 1:30. What time are we going to do it? Because I have to load in. It's not going to work. I guess we'll just do 5. Okay, well, do you and Lana want to go play putt-putt? No, because that's at the front of the resort, and I don't want to move the van and the RV and the trailer all the way up the front of the resort to play putt-putt to come all the way back. Would you guys like to go play on the lake? Lana's in a dress. I'm in show clothes, suit pants, logo t-shirt, backwards hat. Not really, but that could be an adventure. I'll take Lana's mind off of it. Sure. So they get us a paddle boat, and we go out in the water. Now, since I've shaved my head, my scalp is pretty pale. My face is tan, but my scalp is pale. And I'm like, well, I am on the water. I can get some sun. So I had to reveal my bald head to Lana. And Lana didn't take it the way I thought she would. Lana started crying. And Lana was like, Dad, what did you do? It's embarrassing. Put your hat on. Oh my gosh. And
I didn't know she said it was embarrassing.
and then we were on the lake by ourselves. Who were we embarrassing?
Right.
And then I told her that, the show's delayed and I don't even want to be here on the paddle boat. This is, she was not saying it was dumb, but it could have been anything. It could have been a chocolate cake with a fountain of ice cream and da-da-da-da-da. She just wanted her mom. That's all she wanted. She thought that the break was big enough that we could go all the way to town, visit mom, and then go all the way back to the resort. No, that's not going to work. That math would not work. So floating on the lake didn't appease her. And then me sitting there with my bald, pale head didn't make her happy either.
It was a rough day for Lana.
So I tried to make it up to her. I tried to joke around with her in the paddle boat. I tried to have frank discussions. I tried to be silly. She was emotionally just distraught too. She hadn't seen mom in 3 days.
Yeah.
And she keeps hearing me tell the story to everybody that I thought I lost her.
But you did end up bringing her to the hospital that night after the show. And then my dad took her back home because my dad stayed with me until you got back to the hospital that night. So Lana came and visited. So she got to see me for a little bit that night.
And I showed up at the room and Lana's like, Dad, because I had a beanie on so you couldn't see that I was missing sideburns and the back of my head was shaved. And comfy clothes because I knew I was sleeping on the couch again that night next to Natalie. And I said, Lana, do you want to tell her? No, Dad, you tell her. I said, Glenn, you want to tell her? He said, what? I said, go ahead, show her. And he reached up and jerked my beanie off my head. Natalie grabbed her face. Yeah. And like the kid in Home Alone, how he covered her mouth. Yeah. And Lana's like, I told you she'd hate it. I told you she'd hate it.
And I said, no, I was just a shock. I love it. I love it. I think you look really sexy. I love it. You're handsome.
So, anyway, Lana got to visit mom, and I tried to give her alone time with her mom. What her and her dad talked, and we just tried to get her private time with her mom because she was just a mess. Now we're up to Monday. Monday, everybody got together. The in-laws took 2 cars and brought everybody to the hospital to visit. The boys.
Yeah.
Lana. Mm-hmm. The in-laws. Nieces and nephews. And Willow.
Yeah.
And you hadn't seen Willow since everything started.
I hadn't seen Willow since I came back to the hospital. And I just gave her a big old hug. And I said, Willow, I cannot thank you enough. I don't know what I would do without you. Thank you so much for everything that you're doing for us. I mean, just thank you. Because really, if she wasn't here helping us take care of the boys, I don't know what we would have done. And nobody knew when I went into the hospital either time that I would still be here how many days later.
We're on 11 now. This is the 11th day.
Okay. That I'd be here 11 days later. Nobody would have guessed that. And, even now, my doctor comes in every day and he's like, yep, we're on the right track. I think your numbers are looking better and, you're starting to feel a little better, but you're just not there yet. And we're going to get there. We just take it day by day. And I'm just like, man, I want to be better yesterday. I want to go home, but I know I can't. I can't go home until I can tolerate food, which I can't yet, so.
Well, anyway, the nurses were all excited to see the twins.
Yes. I had tears of joy. it was the best feeling ever when they walked them into the room and both boys' faces just lit up with a smile when they saw me.
And it was bittersweet because they want to hug mommy and crawl on mommy and love mommy, and I had to hold them like a puppy over water doing doggy paddles.
Yeah, they got frustrated a couple times leaning over, and they want to give me hugs, and they're reaching for me, pulling on my top. We're trying to get closer. I'm like, honey, you're just going to have to put them down because they're getting frustrated. Both of them, the bed was too high, but both of them tried to swing their leg up to try and climb up. But I was giving them hugs and kissing them, and, when they came up next to the bed, I was just putting my hand around them and rubbing their backs and loving on them, and we sang Itsy Bitsy Spider and, did all that kind of thing. But it sucks that I can't hold my babies. But it did me a lot of good to be able to see them. And
because of her surgery, she's not allowed to pick them up for a month.
Yeah, a month.
But,
I loved the visit. I think they stayed for about 45 minutes, and they started to wrangle everybody up because my head was literally bobbing. I was falling asleep, and I was like, no, it's okay. I can last a little longer, but I really couldn't, and it sucked because I knew when they left, I don't know when I'm going to see them again, but we'll make something work.
Anyway.
Sorry.
Then she took a rest for a while, and she's still managing pain. She's still in crazy pain. She's still pulling this trigger even as we're speaking, but we're waiting on the machine to get fixed. She's an emotional wreck. It's 4th of July.
Yeah.
So our neighbors, we have a group text with our little neighborhood. In our little neighborhood, everybody has 5 acres. One guy has 30. And we all talk, and are we doing a family neighborhood get-together thing in the cul-de-sac? Sure, yeah, let's do it. And we're like, we'll be there in spirit. Or, if you guys want to do like a Zoom thing, we'll be there over Zoom. Yeah, we'll set something up for you guys. Yeah. So they did. One of the wives just videotaped over Facebook Live or Facebook Messenger for our private group so that we could watch Lana and Willow and the boys watch fireworks with all of our guys in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, we're watching the videotape of our neighborhood get-together. And to my left, we have a panoramic view of the city because we're on top of a mountain, and we can see.
I have a corner room. With, half the room is windows. It's real nice.
And we could see literally 9 different firework displays going off at different distances. Some were closer, some were further, but it was a panoramic firework display last night.
Yeah, it was really pretty. It was really pretty out the window, and it was really sweet over the video. Willow took sparklers next to the boys to show them, and their mouths were open, big old smiles. They just thought that was awesome. And some of the things that made a little bit louder of a noise, they weren't too big of fans of, but
we tried to get them to clap and say yay, so they wouldn't be scared of it.
But they did pretty good, and I know Lana had a fun time as well. She loves playing with the sparklers, and they have poppers, those things that you throw on the ground and they make the poppy noise. So I know she had fun. She didn't talk to us as much because she had friends to talk with.
Yeah. So
we kind of got lower on the totem pole as far as being talked to, but you could see she was having a good time. So that was nice to see. I was glad that I could be a part of it, even though I wasn't actually there.
Now, timeline-wise, we're Monday. This is day 10 in the storyline. We're actually talking to you on day 11, and this will come out day 12 of you being in the hospital. And you're not going anywhere tomorrow. You'll still be here when this podcast comes out. But at day 10, you still haven't eaten or pooped in 10 days.
Right.
And you're not hungry. Everybody keeps saying, oh, I'm not going to eat in front of you.
Yeah, I'm like, no, you're totally fine. Nothing's making me nauseous. I'm not nauseous at all, if you're worried about that. And I'm not hungry. I mean, I'm not hungry. So your food smell, it smells great. It smells really good. But please eat with me because I want company. Don't leave to eat. Stay here. And I'm fine.
Now,
I got my ice chips right here. See, I can eat one now.
and what pill did they give you that caused spasms?
It was an anti-spasm pill. So when you have pancreatitis, it'll spasm. No. That's not pancreatitis. It's actually the
stent.
The stent makes things spasm in your belly. And so they gave me an anti-spasm pill, and it only comes in pill form. They can't put it in the IV. And it's this tiny little pill. So I took it, and I knew I couldn't drink anything without causing problems. But they were like, it's the tiniest pill. Take the tiniest sip of water. You should be okay. So I did. I took just enough water to be able to slide that pill down my throat. And a couple minutes later, my belly was killing me. And I was like, I can't even take a tiny sip of water without my belly hurting. This is taking forever to heal. I'm not going home anytime soon.
Yeah. So that's Monday. That's 4th of July. I didn't have any shows because I had all my resorts that weekend. And leading up to that. Tuesday, today, I had no shows. But I had to do some video editing for the television show. And I had to leave her for a little while. She had a procedure done at 9 a.m. to be able to give her nutrients because...
Yeah, it's called a PICC line. So they put an IV in you, and a tube runs up your arm, and it stops fairly close to your heart, is what they say. And so they do it for all sorts of things. I mean, chemo patients get it and everything. I'm getting it so that I can have what they call a TPN, which is pretty much liquid nutrition. So since I can't eat and drink, they were giving me fluids, and that's good enough for a while. But now that it's been as long as it's been, my blood sugar was starting to drop real good. And so they were like, well, we need to give you something more because you haven't eaten in so long and you need more nutrients. So I'm going to hook you up to the liquid nutrients. So here we are. They put that in this morning at 9 a.m., but they don't have any of the bags of stuff ready till 8 p.m. because apparently the pharmacy doesn't make it until the evening time.
Dude, they got her back in the room about 10, and I'm like, all right, well, give her the food. Give her food. She hasn't eaten in 10 days. Give her something. Oh, well, that doesn't come till 8 o'clock tonight. Well, then why did you take her to the procedure at 9 in the morning? Why don't you take her at 6?
Yeah.
That just made no sense to me.
Wow.
But they said it's kind of like Gatorade, what you're getting in your bloodstream. It's sugar water and stuff.
For the
nutrients.
Nutrient?
Yeah. It's got electrolytes and...
It looks like a bag of Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like. But, yeah, so I'm hoping that will... Because I'm sitting here, my eyes are closing, my head is bopping.
I saw it just now when you were talking, your eyes got heavy.
So I haven't been able to do much. I brought my cross stitch because I'm like, I'm going to be here for a while. I can get some cross stitching done. I haven't had a chance to pull it out because I fall asleep so quickly. So I'm hoping having this stuff I'll be able to stay awake a little longer than, 5 minutes.
She's reading a
at a
book,
time.
and she said this thing has 3-page chapters, and she can't even get through a chapter without falling asleep.
Yeah, I can't get, yeah. And I try and force myself, and it doesn't work. I just have to stop. And I'm like, it's a 3-page chapter. Who stops in the middle of a 3-page chapter? But I have to, because I can't keep my eyes straight. I can't read the line. I can't read in a straight line, so my eyes are just moving and skipping around. I have no idea what I'm reading.
What's your pain level now, since we're waiting on this medicine still?
I'm saying I'm about up to a 7 or 8.
So this is
and
keeping
it's
her
just-
mind off of it doing the podcast. I
Yeah.
know she probably should be sleeping right now, but she wouldn't be able to because she doesn't have her pain medicine.
Yeah, it's hurting. It's hurting pretty good. And they have changed it a couple times before, but they're usually quicker than this.
Well, it's also almost 1 in the morning, and they said they have to get the medicine from the pharmacy, and I don't know.
I know, but they're still usually quicker.
Yep.
But anyway.
So we're on Tuesday, today. I had no shows. Natalie got her procedure done this morning. You're still in crazy pain. You had the tiniest little poo today.
I did.
Oh, good girl.
Success.
Good girl. After 11 days without pooping.
I had a little poopy. Yay. The things you celebrate when you're in the hospital.
You know what,
you
guys?
know?
This podcast is kind of like our television show. We don't pull any punches. We let you guys know everything. We don't pull any punches.
No.
So you're still stuck in the hotel room with no end in sight.
Hospital.
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 No end in sight.
No.
We have no idea when you're going home.
No, I just got this liquid nutrition. And who knows? I asked the doctor today, I said, do you have even a guess of when I'm going to be able to try real food? And he said, no. We just kind of have to monitor you day by day as far as pain goes. And it's not going to be today because I am hurting. And it sucks.
So that's where we are, guys. We're still stuck in a hospital room. I have to leave and get ready to go do a show at 4 a.m. here. So I'm going to go to sleep for 3 hours, and that'll be my sleep for the night.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. I napped a little bit today. WesIsley.com still hasn't been updated. Things are still crazy, but I have the Firehouse Theater coming up in Richmond coming up soon. We have Arlington Draft House coming up soon. We'll be doing an interview next week with somebody. And if Natalie's still in the hospital, maybe we'll do it together. Maybe I'll do it by myself. I don't know, but we got to figure it out. Check out Wes Isley's Magiclife podcast Facebook group, and I'll update you guys on Natalie. We'll add pictures and show you guys things we talked about during this podcast, like my bald head.
Yeah.
And different things like that. So make sure you follow that group, guys, because I just uploaded a picture today that the Houdini Museum in Pennsylvania won, like, best attraction in Pennsylvania.
That's awesome.
For summer attractions. Like, they beat out, like, their King's Dominion up there, their amusement parks or whatever that they have up there. Yeah. So that's pretty awesome. So I put the link to them on their podcast, so it brings it right back up to the top. And I'll put some other pictures up. Like last week I talked about the lady pulling out in front of me and her axle falling off. So I put that photo on that group. So you can see all those different photos, and I'm adding photos to different podcast things every single day, or just about every single day. So make sure you follow that group. I don't know. I don't know if we're going to do an update on Natalie next week at the podcast, but updates will definitely be on that Facebook group. So check it out.
Okay.
Anything else you want to say, babe?
No.
All right. Well, see you next week. Check us out online at wesisley.com and patreon.com/Wes_Isley for behind-the-scenes videos, blooper videos, never-before-seen footage, discounts on merchandise, magic trick tutorials, and more. That's Wes Iseli, spelled Wesiseli.